Ladies and gentlemen, they say all work with no play makes Jack a dull boy. But what if Jack just had to sit for an examination to know how well he plays?
So today's debate seeks insight into this matter, and it states co-curricular activities in schools should be examinable subjects.
This is the Great Debaters Contest Season 9, Eastern Region, Machakos County. I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperancia Kapanga. In the proposition today, we have Machakos Academy High School, and in the opposition, we have Kasikeu Boys High School.
Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes to make your submissions.
I am a singer, a passionate singer, but an E-grade student in class. So should I convince my mother to pay fees for an E or fees for my singing? I am Selina Ote, strongly proposing the motion co-curricular activities should be made examinable in school. What are these co-curricular activities? These are activities, programs, and learning experiences that complete what a student learns in school. These such like drama, music, math club, sport and games, and alike. I don't wish to continue. On to my first point. If these co-curricular activities are made examinable, generally, it demonstrates that beyond reasonable doubt that the involvement of such activities like drama, music, and sporting have a positive impact in a person's life. Earlier this morning, before I started my first debate, we heard it all from Chris Mburu when he said that he was a debater of Nyeri High School. And look where he is right now. Who doesn't want to be like him? I want to be like him. If you don't want, please, let's meet outside after this and you tell me who your role model is, because he is my role model. On to my second point. The greatest advantage of all was revealed to be a decrease in antisocial behaviors and students growing up to be good in communication and also relationship. If it were not for my co-curricular skills in drama and music and many other more that I don't want to mention, I'll be, of course, boo-boo-booing, bababaing, of course, not knowing what to say over here. But because I have co-curricular skills, I am here confidently standing, proposing a motion, and of course, smiling at you and telling you why I choose to propose on this motion. On to my third point. If co-curricular activities are made examinable in schools, students will get other ways of relaxing and inspiring or rejuvenating their spirits. Take, for instance, students, when they become idle, what do? Take drugs. Most of you call it, how do we call it in Sheng? I don't even remember, but you do call it that. You call it weed, yes, weed. Most of you take part in drug substances as weed, or rather you sit as a squad and decide that you are going to start a strike all of a sudden. I have this proof from a Ghana teacher 2 days ago. He's going viral just because he posted a video of him teaching students creative arts, but through dancing. And he says that this makes learning easier and helps tackle truancy. You all know what truancy is. You don't want me to repeat that, right? Moreover, the longitudinal study of adolescent health proves that 70% of adolescents are involved in most of the co-curricular activities. Selina Ote from Machakos Academy. See me while I see you. Blessed day.
First proposal, you have 3 minutes to make your submission.
Co-curriculum activities in schools should be examinable. To begin with, what's a co-curriculum activity? These are activities that actually support academics. For example, sports, e.g. football, basketball, netball. We do have also clubs like drama, music, and also debate. These are just but few examples of co-curriculum activities. Now, What do we term when we say they should be examinable? In short, we say they should be put into test. And with that, I see no motive of us trying to examine core curriculum activities. Why? On to my first point. They can be stressful. How can they be stressful? We all know that actually teenagers find it hard to manage time. And actually here we're speaking on curriculum activities. Now, what if we introduce these core curriculum activities? Are they actually going to manage their time well? And furthermore, we are going to be impacting more of a theory in their brains, hence leading them to be stressed. And we all know the results of stress. We all know that our students try to relieve their stress through various activities like strikes. They may engage themselves in drug abuse. And these are things that we don't actually want to happen in our schools. That's why I do greatly oppose this motion. And to my second point, dependency in other countries. We actually know that for these activities to take place, then the government should try to buy, they will buy the trainees. After buying them, they will train them. And above all, they will build infrastructures so as to cater for this motion. And when the government does this, then they will have to use funds. And where are they going to get these funds from? They are going to borrow from other countries. And we are actually sure that Kenya now operates under loans, in that we are actually on loans. And the moment we introduce more loans in our countries, then you are trying to demoralize our country. And furthermore, we are going to have to pay these debts whether we like it or not. On to my third point, limiting freedoms and rights. We all know that we have our freedoms and rights. Now, if we introduce these co-curriculum activities, actually, I'm meant to understand that we all go to school for academics, not for co-curriculum activities. So, me going to school, my main aim is to acquire academic value, but not co-curriculum value. So, you're going to be denying my freedom in participating in curriculum value, rather than introducing me into co-curriculum value, which I'm not even interested in while I'm at school. So, this is why I greatly oppose this motion that says co-curriculum activities should be examinable in schools. I go by the name Maxwell Mumo from Kasikeu Boys High School. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for rebuttal.
My name is Elizabeth Wangoi from Machakos Academy, hereby proposing the motion that states co-curricular activities should be made examinable in school. The first opposer said that co-curricular activities waste students' time. And I have a question out of that. What are you doing here? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think this is a co-curricular activity which helps me get my non-verbal and verbal cues and use them here. It helps me get critical and creative thinking skills. And this leads me to my first point. Co-curricular activities allow students to explore their strengths outside of academics. You may find that a student feels demoralized and useless in class, but once they are involved in co-curricular activities that they are interested in, they up their self-confidence, which leads to them feeling good about school and even wanting to perform better in their academics like they are in their co-curricular activities. Furthermore, co-curricular activities increase positive self-development, regardless of where the activity is taking place, whether at school or at home. On my second point, if co-curricular activities are examined, they will look good on a school transcript for a college application. Let me ask you, maybe you have your KCPE and KCAC results, but there are no supporting agents which will show what else you are doing in school. Will they decorate your transcript? I don't think so. In our current 844 education system, this has not been thought for very well. But instead, you see, in American schools, they have co-curricular education and they are examined. And you find that the students from there really enjoy school. Because apart from learning mathematics, he or she is going to have a math class and an art class later, and a gym class, which will help him in sports for gymnastics. On my third point, it builds skills that are taught in classroom but are important for the future. Like what I said, creative thinking and critical thinking. Our country needs developed nation in the future. So you find that the creative thinkers who are going to be involved in these co-curricular activities are going to help the country solve its internal problems in the future. You can find that right now we have the problem of corruption, but when all these skills are put together, we can come to a valuable conclusion that will help us. And the first opposer said that there are trainers who need to be hired in the country so that they can train these co-curricular activities. But you find we have athletes like Julius Yego. Did he need a trainer? As far as I'm concerned, I know that he was taught by YouTube because he's a YouTube athlete, of which he used YouTube to train himself. And that's why I'm strongly proposing this motion that co-curricular activities should be made examinable in schools. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for rebuttal.
Well, it's so funny you people, you don't look at the bigger picture of this motion. You talk of co-curricular activities should be examined in schools. But have you thought about this? Is the government ready to fund these co-curricular activities? Do we have adequately trained personnel? And if we do, have they been exposed to these programs before? That's where we have wrangles between the TSC and the government and the union. The government wants to roll in these co-curricular activities, but the TSC is trying to roll out. Why? Because we are not prepared. I think, in my own opinion, the government is trying to rush things. But I say, take a deep breath, sit, relax, don't rush things, and let's see where this thing can take us. They say slow but sure. Benjamin Maina from Kasikeu Boys. I'd like to strongly oppose the motion that states co-curricular activities in schools should be examined. Add to my first point. It is an expensive method. Have you thought of that family out there that is very poor? As we all know in our country, most people lie in the third class world, in the third class standards of living. Now that person is struggling very hard to pay fees for 2 or 4 kids in that family. You can imagine of that. Now you want to add co-curricular activities. It's becoming a burden to that person. I think even this might limit that student even for getting educated, since there will be lack of school fees. And to my second point, it will promote a moral behavior. Nowadays, kids and teenagers have become very curious. The 21st century kid, the so-called digital generation. And it has become very hard for our parents to control what we see and what we do. Just the other day, a video of a famous singer known as Akode was trending. A person dancing and naked, and this video was released. Now, we want to introduce co-curricular activities, and you can see the immoral behavior of such a person. I believe singing is a co-curricular, if I'm not wrong. Now, when you introduce co-curricular activities in schools, means you are giving this person, that person who wants to be a singer, a bad influence, who want to make that person have bad moral behaviors. Nowadays, students want to be their own models to be people like Wiz Khalifa's. We can see in their music videos, they have this smoke bank. They take alcohol, women dancing naked in their music videos. Now, once you introduce this, remember they are paying money, but you can't compare money with immoralness in the society. Let me ask you, students, is that what your parents is expecting from you? They have so much big hopes on us. You want to become a singer, maybe become that like Akove. Are you setting a good example? Are you helping yourself? Ask yourself about that. Again, if I may say, in our countries, when you go looking for jobs, they look at the CVs, the curriculum vitae, not the co-curriculum vitae. Therefore, I see no point of us concentrating on examining co-curricular. For once, let's stop juggling around with our minds. Let's do the thing that brought us to school. That is curriculum. Thank you.
The proposers have been asked, if we have examination of co-curricular activities, won't some students start focusing more on that than their academics? The opposers have been asked, what exactly is the correlation between examining co-curricular activities and moral decay in the society? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
So there's a question that has been posed. Won't some of the students focus more on co-curricular activities? This is going to be a program. It's not something that is in the school. You just come and tell students. We can't be finding a student in the basketball court playing all day. We have teachers who are there to monitor them. If you're supposed to be in class, you go to class. If it's time for a co-curricular activity, you go and do it. So people won't waste time. At least a student who knows what he or she is doing won't waste time on that. I'm here debating today, but tomorrow I'll be focusing on my books. Thank you. So my first point is that co-curricular activities provide the students with an opportunity to practice things on a practical level. You know, some of the students will be doing this practically. When you do things practically, they tend to stick in the mind more than the things that are done theoretically. It happens to me when I do, like, for example, a chemistry practical. It sticks in the mind more than a chemistry theory. The same thing happens when I'm out there on the field. I tend to cut things faster than when I am in class. So that's my first point. My second point is that co-curricular activities provide lucrative careers. When these activities are tested, they are made examinable. Students who don't even have an idea of what they want to become in future get an idea. For example, when I was outside here, some of the students from other schools told me, I'm good, I have a good English. It shows me I have a possible career in journalism. You see, that helps me to know what I want to be. So some of the students don't know what they want to be, but by bringing these co-curricular activities, they tend to know what they want. Let's take, for example, we have Wanyama, who is like a star in Tottenham. We have Origi, we have good footballers. We have boxers like Zarika. We have musicians. All of this came from co-curricular activities that were not in class. So my third point is that co-curricular activities bring different people in a country together. I don't want to go far when we have a good example here. When we heard for the Great Debaters Contest, we have so many people from so many backgrounds, so many religions, and so many tribes that are coming here. We socialize, we talk. This is putting an end to like the tribalism, for example. Tribalism is one of the menace that is crippling our society. Today, if we are here, we are talking to each other, it doesn't bring up tribalism. I'm a Somali, you might be a Kamba, you might be a Kikuyu, but when we talk, I don't want to realize that we have all of those things. We focus on these co-curricular activities that is being tested today. We are being tested. If you don't know, this is a co-curricular activity. We get points. These are our teachers, this is the audience, and we need to get points so that we know how much we've come. We are not here so that we know who lost and who won, but to know how far we are for our co-curricular activities. So that was my time. Thank you.
Kadipuza, you have 3 minutes to respond to your question.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. I have learned that if you want to see maturity in a believer, don't look at how they are gifted, but at the fruit they produce. You see, one may be gifted in the examinable part of the co-curricular activity. But what about the results? What about the quality of the results this person produces? A question was asked, how does examining co-curricular activities will lead to moral decay? You understand the current situation of the youth in Kenya. Youth are being violated because of these co-curricular activities. An example is the ethic group. This group is a group of students who are done with the curricular system. They finished Form 4, but they engage themselves in music. Look at the state of this group, the impact which this group has brought this country. They have violated our youth by impacting bad morals and bad behaviors. So, if we examine these co-curricular activities, more will happen to our youth. Our youth will be violated by immoral behaviors. In addition, the co-curricular activities measure on self-development rather than a country as a whole. Take an example of a person like Lupita Nyong'o. Where is she right now? She's not in Kenya, a very own actress, brought by our very own mother's country. But where is she? So, are we ready as a country to produce individuals, impacting them with our qualities, examining them and impacting them? Then they go outside the country, benefiting themselves and other countries. We are not ready. Moreover, it makes one change his dreams, which could have been more useful in terms of impact. Look at a person check an example, when the co-curricular activities are introduced in school. This person had an intention of being a teacher, but because maybe due to peer pressure or realization, this person chooses to be a comedian. Now, a comedian in our country and a teacher, who is best? A teacher can transform many students, many people, and impact them with the right values. An example like Dr. Ofweneke. Dr. Ofweneke, a very own comedian in Kenya, he opted to be a lawyer. But because of these co-curricular activities, he chose to be a comedian. Now, look at the state of the country. We have lost a lawyer, a good lawyer, who could stand for our people, defend their cases, but now he's a comedian. Although it helps, but the impact in the country, we have to develop Kenya. I think, guys, it's time that as a country, we have to accept the progress of the 844 system. That is the curricular system. I don't think examining these co-curricular activities will do no good in this country. Is the government ready? Let us ourselves, the duration of impacting or making this progress as successful, will there be much time to make this progress as successful? I'm Joel Ngere from Kasikeu Boys High School, and debating is my portion.
Proposers, you have 1 minute to make a final submission.
I don't know why you are focusing on Akothe, but anyway, if students are examined, they tend to take things more seriously. Yeah, that's true. And in addition, and above all, currently, the Kenyan government has been trying to change and has changed into the competency-based curriculum, which has been especially designed to emphasize the significance of developing skills and knowledge and also applying these competencies in various levels. Is this not a concrete support of our motion, or are we reading from different scripts as our government and ministries? That's all. Thank you.
Opposers, you have 1 minute to make a final submission.
We don't see the sense of examining these co-curricular activities. Currently in our country, there are people who have thrived in the co-curricular activities, even without being examined. Look at the KCB volleyball team, impacted with people who are taking part in the curricular activities, and at the same time, they're taking part at the co-curricular activities. I want to tell you guys that we are not ready. We should ask ourselves, is the government ready to fund this project? If it's examining the co-curricular activities, are we ready? Are we ready? Is it the funds for producing these, for training these personnel, are they there? Are we ready as a country? An example like the Churchill Show, it's a comedy-based company, but we have found that many comedians have done well. They have thrilled in that sector, even without being examined. So I don't see the point of examining these co-curricular activities. Thank you.
To Machakos Academy, one of the things that stood out for me is when you talked about a correlation between co-curricular vis-a-vis intellectual and physical development, which is true. Most of the time when you go play out, when you come back to class, there's a lot of understanding of what you want to present. You get it actually clear. And I like that particular point. The fact that it helps build confidence. The fact that it's an alternative source of income. So I think right now, when you're coming back to the stage the second time, I think you made your point. And when Elizabeth came out with a wonderful, logical argument, in a very nice voice. Elizabeth, I liked your presentation. Of course, that doesn't mean at one point we are looking at your presentation, going by what you had done before, and we said, okay, now it's like she has her points. So I think you make a good team. May the best team win. Thanks.
Generally, in terms of a style and presentation, coherence of argument, passion and conviction, both teams tried their level best, but in terms of mastery of topic, I felt you should have given more examples. For example, do we have countries where these co-curricular activities are examinable? Do we have countries where this has worked? Which Ado came out so well with when she talked about the CBC and having an aspect of a co-curricular examined. But I felt you should have gone deep and given examples, and then you clinch your arguments to the question. For Kasikeu, you are not bringing out the examinable concept out clearly. When you were speaking about Akothe and all she does, and then examinable, I mean, the link was missing out. May the most outstanding team win.
All right, and for the results of this debate, Kasikeu Boys High School, the judges awarded you 66%. Let's give them a round of applause. Machakos Academy, you earned yourself 67.9%, making you the winners of this debate. Congratulations to both schools for giving us an amazing debate today.
Quite indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Great Debaters Contest, esteemed audience, we not only talk the talk here at the Great Debaters Contest, but we walk the talk by encouraging each and every school to implement at least one sustainable development goal so as to make their country, their society, their schools and communities a better place.
That's it for today. I have been your host, Esperancia Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru. Catch you next time.